Yeah.
So we're live. Get on mic.
We're live.
Yeah.
Stop.
I want this story to get on the podcast. Yes.
Okay.
I want you to explain yourself. I want this documented.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Just stop it.
No, I just had like.
We
had
can
no-
move. I was assuming you'd be more in the corner, but if you
Oh.
like the center, we can move the mic.
Yeah, I'm center of everything.
Yes.
That's so. I'm weird.
Yes,
I'm being weird
there
now.
you go.
No, just I had my little sister got her first job, so she's like she had to get driven today.
Is that the one that several like a month or two ago she was there with your mom outside the tire shop and I said hi to her?
Maybe
Is that the one that I met?
she has brown hair.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was her.
Yeah,
'Cause
my
I
little
was-
sister. My little sister.
I was joking with her. They were right outside the door,
I
and
have two. I have a youngest sister and then like a middle.
yeah, I forgot
sister,
which one
so-
I don't know which one was there,
Yeah.
but I made the joke. I was like, oh, you need to go out there and and I made the comment. I was like, she doesn't actually work here anyway. She just hangs out and talks.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
do you remember that?
I don't remember
Oh,
that.
gosh,
Though.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought I was old.
I have goldfish memory, and I just did my hair. Like
It looks
re-dyed
great, by
it.
the way. Yes.
Yeah, but I lost brain cells because you know the blonder you go.
That is not true.
It's a joke.
That is so not
It's
true. I
dumb.
know. That's a
But
Paris
like dumb
Hilton
blonde
joke,
type
probably.
of thing. Yeah, I just look like Barbie now.
So I
apparently.
did review last night.
Uh-huh.
And we'll do a proper intro for you. I
Okay.
watched the entire first episode or the first podcast we
Cringe.
did, just
I
to
just
refresh my memory.
I just information dumped, and I'm like, okay. First of all, it's not sorted. It was random. And
It was
so-
amazing, actually.
Thanks.
I will never post it, of course. But
Okay.
did you bring your laptop?
I didn't.
Okay, that's fine. I'll put it on a thumb drive. I want to
Okay.
give it to you because I think it'd be cool for you to listen to it.
Do you have like a Google Drive or something you can upload it to?
Yeah, I could.
And
Yeah, I
share
could
it
share it
with
with
me?
you.
Yeah.
That's
just,
funny that you mentioned that. I just learned how to do that.
Really?
My daughter had to teach me how to do that like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. He probably doesn't know what Google Drive is. It's so easy. You just share whatever you upload.
I
with
know.
someone, so.
Although I'm not.
Via email.
I don't pay for it, so there's a limit to how much you can upload.
No, that's fine. Yeah. There's
But
like,
I could share it with you.
Yeah.
I think it'll fit. It was about an hour and 18 minutes.
Jeez,
The whole
talked
thing.
I've talked for that long.
Well, you had strong opinions. You came in hot. Remember?
Thanks.
I kept saying that.
Yeah. Well, I'm chill, mild now, and
Well,
ready.
and what I also picked up on it. Yeah, I guess I should do the intro. This is Elena. I work with her. We recorded one. It was in April. I forgot that it was that long ago, but it was in
Yeah.
April.
And it's
and-
already August. It's been a
I know.
fat
the
minute.
Time is going way too
Stop.
fast.
August. That's
Um,
crazy.
So we recorded an episode then, and decided to just keep it in the can. So we've been trying to plan this re-recording. So
Yeah,
this,
and I kept like being like, I'm too
no-
busy or
no,
whatever.
life happens. It's fine. Stop it.
I know. Felt bad.
But I appreciate you coming over and doing this again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I work with Elena at Costco. She's in the tire shop and also other places. But the reason that I wanted to re-record this, I think we kind of talked about. We did a deep dive on this in the last episode because you were born in Russia, lived there until almost 9 years old, and in fact, I joked about this on the last episode. I wish I had like an assistant, a producer that could put it up on the screen. But I pulled up because I want people to reference where you were born. So I pulled up a map,
Oh.
and I actually practiced this before you came
Really?
over. I can show it in front of the camera. When you're talking
Nice.
about where you were born, the city you lived in, which is just north of Japan, I want people to see
Yeah.
where it's at. So
Yeah, 'cause no one geography, just out the window.
if I do this right,
I don't remember anything I learned from geography. I have to reference like maps all the time, so it's not a.
the camera will focus on it if I get close. There we go.
That place is called Kamchatka, and it's a peninsula.
Yes, thank you.
So
Say it again.
peninsula, and the name is Kamchatka. It's like the city town.
It's right there, where my finger is. That's the bottom of that peninsula, and then down here is Japan. So
Can they hear you? Is the computer
yeah, you should
catching it?
probably tell 'em what I was just saying.
Yeah. He just pointed out the place. It's above Japan.
I
the
mean, it might
peninsula.
pick up the ambient.
Yeah.
If they have their headphones on, they can probably hear it. But yeah, that's where you were born and raised.
Yeah. Well, when I was 9, I think, or I just turned 9. No, I'm not gonna lie. I was 8 years old. We moved here 2008,
Yeah,
I think.
you
so
came. You first went to not Fife. Was it Fife?
What?
Where you guys moved to? It was south of Seattle.
It's Kent.
Kent. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Fife.
That's right? Isn't Fife right next to Kent?
I don't think so. I've never heard of Fife.
It's right in that area.
Really?
I swear to gosh. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a little. It's because there's Kent, Tacoma, and Kent is just north of Tacoma, I think. Does that sound right? Yeah, yeah. Right off
30
I-5.
minutes. 30 minutes
yeah.
off.
Okay.
So it's like middle in between Seattle and Tacoma. I actually just say Seattle area because no one knows where Kent
Right,
is. So.
right. Well, I did. I don't know
Yeah.
if we talked about it. I did a few years of as a truck driver, so I made a lot of deliveries in the whole Seattle Tacoma area. So I kind of got to know.
No, I believe Fife. Then Fife is a real place. I'm not.
No,
I'm
you
sure.
don't believe me.
It's just such a silly name. Like our naming conventions here are so weird. Like, well, who came up with that? You know? And they'll be like,
Somebody that had too many beers, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, it's awesome. But we moved there because my family's all here, like my mom's side of the family. So we just
Well, that's right. But I remember you guys kind of moved here. Again, I reviewed the podcast last night, which was, again, that first episode was awesome. That's why I want to give you a copy of it. I understand why you never want to share it, but it was super cool.
I think I shared too much about like my sob story, and I'm not supposed to like make it like all
No, that's we don't even have to go into why we didn't share it. But there was a lot of great stuff in there. But you guys moved here, if I remember right, for better health care, because your father had a traumatic brain injury, I think.
Yeah.
And and I remember you said it was either Germany or America, and I
And
guess
we just have more research here in America on that specific issue.
okay.
And not to be like judgy here, but I don't think healthcare actually is better here in terms of like therapy and recovery and stuff. They just focus on like stabilizing and having like administering as much drugs to you as possible.
It's almost like treating the symptoms.
Yeah.
But not solving the core problem.
And we did try to solve core problem. It's really expensive though, and like it's crazy. We got into so much debt immediately because they didn't really tell us how much it all costs. No one says that there's a bunch of like resources available for you to tap into.
You just start receiving bills in the mail.
Yeah, and we're just like, what is going on? Is this real amount of money? Like, this is crazy. So, and we're all new here. I know my parents. Like, I was oblivious to all of it.
Right, because you were 9 years old.
Thanks to my mom, like, I had a pretty good childhood because I was just not.
And yes, by the way, I held off until afternoon because I thought you were going to be here at 11. So once it passed noon, I was like, it's my day off. I'm going to have a beer.
I'm sorry once again.
I am just giving you crap. It's fine.
Thanks.
You gave me time to practice guitar and stuff.
Nice.
And also, I had to run to Fred Meyer to get your tea and some fruit for you.
You did not need to do that. It's like
you are the guest.
Whatever.
I have to cater to the guest.
Well,
oh my gosh, because
thanks.
it's awesome that you do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also got that out of the podcast. Again, I listened to it back last night. Your mom was kind of a rock star.
Yeah.
Held everything together and fucking
backbone for sure. Like,
sorry,
how
Tatiana.
there's like
I just remember this too. We can't curse because Tatiana would not approve of my
she
cursing.
says, "Are you speaking French again?" She doesn't like.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, she's
that's
like,
a kind
Don't
way of
speak
saying
French.
it.
Yeah, and then like coworkers too when they start, like throwing words around. She's just like, "Are you guys speaking French again? You don't. I don't
That is
like it or
awesome.
speak
I
it."
like
so,
that.
Yeah, she has a nice way of saying. Yeah.
She's a sweetheart. But yeah, I definitely got that out of it. That because your mom, again, was kind of the rock that kept everything going, and then after and eventually moving down to the Battleground area, she opened a hotel right across the river in the Portland area. Like when they first opened it, she was some kind of a manager there, I believe.
Yeah, she
hospitality
helped,
manager.
Yeah, and like ordering all the furniture, furnishing everything, like putting everything up. It's a lot of work, and it's the hotel does very well, but it doesn't pay their staff enough, you know, and they work themselves, to the bone. So, it's crazy once you get out of it. Your hindsight, you're like, why did I stay there so long? Why did I stay there? It's just like that's all you know. That's what you're good at, you know. And they have a way of making you feel bad for leaving, like places like that. People are great, and that's why you stay. The people that like her coworkers were amazing, great people. but the management kind of had like a way of making you feel bad almost for, wanting to leave.
Wanting to better yourself?
Or yeah. Even a pay raise. You had to like just
beg for it almost.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say, like, she was paid as a supervisor. She wasn't like a head manager. She was a supervisor, but she oversaw the food and beverage stuff. Yeah. And it's like it's a very good hotel. It's, crazy good. But she got paid maximum $18 an hour. Can you believe that?
That was the top. That was the scale. Top.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm sure other people got paid more, but she just never pushed it. And you're supposed to talk about like pay raises yourself if you don't get a pay raise for a long time. So, it was insane. Like that's the most she ever got, and she supported all of us. Like,
which I don't want. I don't want to like keep sucking Costco's dick. But what I have noticed is there is a business model that can work if you pay employees a livable wage, give them benefits, you can be successful. Obviously, Costco's been doing it for like 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And they pay a livable wage and they give great benefits. Well, there's a way to do it. So I don't understand why a lot of other companies can't figure that out.
And it's like now we're just talking about your we're going into like finances and like why everything sucks. But yeah, Costco, there's a reason why a lot of like older people stay there. Yeah. If you're older, you kind of want to respect yourself. You're not going to stay at a job that's not going to pay you well, right? Yeah. The fact that there's so many older people, not like old, but past like a certain age group.
Ageism. You're talking about me. I know.
No, I'm just saying. No, it's great because like it's not crazy hard work, right? As a Costco employee, you're not like working your butt off. You're not like sleepless nights. It's an 8-hour cut and dry.
Well,
it's
and
great.
The good thing is you literally, for the most part, can punch your clock. You're there for 8 hours and you go home.
And you're done. Yeah, you don't have to be like, oh, there's not enough, work's not done, we can't leave. There's never that kind of thing. So you're just, as soon as the clock, strikes, whatever, you're gone.
And this is something awesome. I try to let like younger people know, because obviously you're young enough, you still have, anybody in their 20s has plenty of options, but if you just get in there, work your whatever job, even if you just part-time, you still get benefits and you still get a 401k. That gives you time. You do whatever you want on the side to build a different, if you want to start your own business or have other options, go to school, but just keep that Costco job, because of what, in 10 or if you start in your 20s, in 10 or 15 years, you're going to have a high 6 figures, if not 7 figures, in a 401k, and you'll be in your 30s. You could just leave that there for a retirement and go do something else. It's a great security blanket, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And you just kind of only realize that after you work there for a while. You're just like, wow, actually all these benefits are enough to keep me like staying here, even though this is not what I'm passionate necessarily about.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it on the last podcast. I don't remember exactly, because you had some, I forgot what you said that you might want to do as far as career-wise, but it wasn't necessarily Costco. You had some thoughts.
So my sister is a nurse now, like RN nurse. She was really passionate about it. She just went for it, and you're just like, that's awesome. You know what you want, and you know that it's going to pay well. Yeah. My career, what I want to do, does not necessarily pay well. You have to, so it's like digital media arts. So you have to have a profile of digital arts or profile or works that you have done, for as a freelancer.
Have like a digital portfolio that you can present.
So you have to be an artist outside of digital world. Like you have to have skills, like solid skills of like concept of like drawing, like what figures, just like all of it. The whole 9 yards. You have to know it. You have to be good at it, and you have to transfer those onto like digital platforms, like using all the software, the creative software that there is.
That's funny. And
it just kind of gives you, it's just like a toolbox.
It was just last week. Yeah. Or just several days ago, somebody in the tire shop randomly mentioned that you're into art. And I didn't know this, but the reason we didn't talk about it on the last podcast. Yeah. But what was funny
That's what I'm saying. I missed a whole part of my life that I just complaining the whole time. I recorded. This is not what I want to be known as, okay? So.
I recorded an episode with Heather, and I didn't know this until the podcast, but she is literally an artist. Same thing you're talking about, and she has, done the the pencil, the paint, the drawing, but then she's transferred it into digital stuff.
That's really hard to do, by the way.
Right,
it's like
so that's what you're
different...
talking about. I didn't know you had the same interest.
I have an interest, but the drive's not there half the time, especially if you know that the most you'll ever get as a creator, a digital creator is like 60,000 a year.
Right.
That's not enough for the amount of time and sweat and tears I pour into
Because you almost
this.
have to, you still would need another job.
And it's like, you want the freedom and like, you don't want to worry about like finances when you're learning all this, because it takes, all of your time up. I have a social life. I have other things that I'm committed to and stuff.
Right.
So this consumes a lot, like getting good at a skill that's so like,
oh my gosh,
personal,
especially
right?
an artistic skill like that. You have to dedicate
But then you
time.
worry about finance. You worry about like the basic needs, survival. Like, we're still immigrants. My mom's the only worker. Like, we just started getting enough like finance. We just started paying off like the debt that we had, and it's just been like a heavy blanket for so many years.
Yeah.
That
Hi. That's Ame, by the way.
Hi.
That's
Sorry.
Elena.
Thank you for your lovely house.
Ame does make guest appearances on the podcast.
Nice. Yeah. So, and now I started getting like freedom to do like draw what I want and stuff. But you can't have. It's hard to transfer it into something that you can make money off of, right? Because you have to cater to what companies want to see, what people want to see, what companies look for, like the skills and stuff. So it's like really...
It's kind of a balance between making the art that you are passionate about versus making the art that you can make money off of.
Exactly. It's
and you have
pretty
to balance
different.
that out.
Yeah, and, well, another thing is AI emerged and a lot of...
Don't get me started on this.
Yeah. AI emerged.
Is that irritating?
And it's irritating for people that already been doing this job for a long time, and then suddenly they don't have like their skills aren't useful in this regard, because AI can instantly like whip up a logo or something, whip up an ad or like a little animation of whatever picture that you want. That's something that takes skill for people, and good that AI is like replacing like tedious tasks, but not art. Come on, they should replace like dangerous jobs or something.
And what's frustrating about that is
that's just my opinion.
AI is, but the reason AI works is it is sourcing the entire
millions and millions of works
it's
already out there.
Sourcing all of human knowledge. So it is making art because it has access to the entire history of the human race making. So it's basically stealing. I don't use the word stealing.
It's not stealing,
but it is
because it's public, right? It's public domain.
The only reason it can do that is because humans have done it before.
Yes. And it's kind of disappointing. Suddenly, like, it's taking something that people are passionate, spent years, trying to do, and like
it's almost trivializing it.
Yeah, and it's like, how if people have less time to worry about like tedious stuff and like working their butts off and stuff, and everyone finds that they're an artist of some sort in music, whether it be like physical art or just creative, it's a creative outlet, something. It's like a next step that people are drawn to if they don't have to worry about finances.
That's a really good insight.
Yeah.
If you can get a few hours a week where you aren't stressed about just daily, surviving.
Yeah. Or like, damn it, I have to make dinner again, like 7th day in a row.
I have to pay the bills and I have to clean the house. And
if we had, or somehow, I mean, I know AI is just starting out and it's developing, but if we had a way that it like develops in a way that we can use it to make our daily life simpler and focus on things that we actually want to do.
So you want it to almost enhance and help us instead of
taking something we want to be doing,
Oh my God, I hadn't thought about that.
And capitalizing on the only people that are like capitalizing on it are, the people that have something to sell to someone else, like entertainment, or companies are trying to sell you something and they need visual presentation or creativity to draw in people. Well, they're cheapening it and making it like super like fast money for them.
Right, because whenever there's an advance in technology, there's people that are just going to be looking for a way to make money off it. And like, well, if I can do this 10 times faster than the person that used to do it manually.
Manual, and you have to pay them a lot of money to do it.
Yeah, but then you also lose something, especially when it comes to art. You lose
that spark and stuff. And people are still going to be like, it's going to sort itself out because people are still going to be drawn to like original work, like personal things, and that like creative touch that just robots and whatever
So in a way,
intelligence
it
doesn't
might,
have.
in the long term, in the short term, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
The hope is that in the long term, it almost might add value to the real artists doing their thing.
Yep, it does. And like, I know it's going to sort itself out, but I'm just ranting because I know people that have lost jobs, like good, stable jobs because of this, because AI can eliminate like half the workforce that isn't like, I personally know a guy that's been a senior software creator for like not Disney but like Sony or something.
Okay.
I forgot, one of those companies, like pretty big companies, and he worked
Pixar
remote.
Or something,
Pixar,
or
something like that. They're giant companies that have tons of projects of people all around, like United States and not only like England and like Europe, that are doing like projects for them and working on them. Like some are remote and stuff, and it's really interesting because it's like, oh, you can actually like make good money off of it. And he had a pretty stable job, but he got laid off. And he's a senior creator, so he's been working in the field for 15 years. He has a fat portfolio. He's worked on like famous movies that like I'll just whip up a list, but I can't. I'm dumb. I can't do that. But he's worked on so many movies. His portfolio's fat, and yet he is struggling to find work now. You know what I mean?
Because of the whole AI thing.
I'm not sure what it is. It's just harder for creatives to find work now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, entertainment business, like, industry is just growing. So I don't know why it's hard for a senior, team member to find
I almost
work.
wonder if there is some movement in that industry to look for, they want to hire the younger people because they think they have a fresh perspective. I think that's part of it.
Maybe
that's part of it.
It's part of it because you kind of have to make people do, like, a lot of what the movies nowadays are focusing on is like agendas and like just fresher.
Everything's woke.
Yeah, everything's woke, and older people just don't really vibe with that for whatever reason, and like they have to redo the art and like redo things that like the people are in charge. I don't know exactly how that works, but it's a reject kind of like SketchUp. You make this like short animation of just like, here, this is a proposal type of thing, and they're like, no, never mind, sorry, like this is not what we're looking for, redo it. And it's just kind of discouraging. So I think, I'm not trying to make excuses, I just don't want to work years and years for something that's not going to pay off in the long run, I think. So
which is God, that's frustrating too, because it's a passion, and I hate that it's kind of being almost
there's not
almost
much
tampered down before you even
there's not
start.
much incentive or fuel for people to do it unless that's all they know. They're super good at it, know, and that they're able to focus on it without worries and just grow that skill set. And I just either don't have the knack for it, don't have like the patience for it. So that's my kind of like struggle here.
But also, I mean, you're have you turned 23 yet, or are you still 20?
I did.
When was your birthday?
May 4th.
Yes,
4th.
Because in April you were 22. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So 1 year older, yay.
No, you're a few months older. Stop it.
Yep.
Yes, it's doing great. I had do you remember the reason I'm so paranoid about it? You remember Vaughn that worked in the tire shop for a while? Daniel's friend?
Mm-hmm.
So I randomly a month or two ago, he came over and we had a great, literally like 2.5 hour podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And
did it record?
It did record, but I had a problem with a loose connection of a wire. So there was like a buzz or a hum that went through the entire 2.5 hours. So I can't use it. I was I'm always like just checking to make sure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Makes sense. Technology and stuff.
Oh, I almost forgot. We have to get this in. Usually I do it at the beginning of the episode. This is For Our Loved Ones podcast. All hail Kenny Chesney and Tom Brady. No Shoes Nation rules. Go Brady. Patriots. Yes. I have to get. That's why I'm wearing a Kenny Chesney shirt. I have to. I think awesome. I told you the story on the last episode that it's like a running joke now, because when my daughter started her podcast, I would always do Kenny Chesney and Tom Brady references, and she would edit them out. So now every episode of mine, I have to give him a shout out.
You're not going to edit them out?
No, hell no.
Nice. Hey, that's something you're passionate about. That's your thing.
Well, everybody should be passionate about Kenny Chesney and Tom Brady. Oh my gosh, they're world heroes. They are heroes.
Nice. Good. I'm glad you think so. I don't know Kenny Chesney. I don't know much about Tom Brady. Yeah, questionable. But
wow.
I'm just kidding.
I can fix you.
I'm just playing.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm still remembering stuff from the last episode. And again, the reason I wanted to talk to you, and we covered it the last time. You have such a unique, interesting perspective, having been born in Russia, lived there until you were almost 9, and you have memories of it. You were old enough that you still remember what it was like there. And then coming to America, and I remember, I think, if I remember right, when you first moved here, you spent your first year of elementary school, whatever grade, kind of learning English, because you didn't speak English when you first.
I got held back to restart first grade, again, so I could learn the language.
That's right, because I asked you in the last one, was the school system kind of the same, or was it as far as grades?
So different.
You were probably, other than the fact that you didn't know English, you probably were actually a little more advanced for where they started you.
Probably, yeah, but it's kind of leveled out, as years went by. It's like,
no, you're still way smarter than everybody else. It's fine.
No. And everything I've learned in first grade, I basically kind of like got over, like an override with the new school system. So, because it's easier. And you suddenly go from being like intense, like uniforms, you had to learn the multiplication table by first grade, multiplication, division.
Russia.
Yeah, in first grade.
Oh, you had school uniforms?
Yeah, we had uniforms. We all still use the chalkboard. It's very, like, kind of old school.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's similar to how you would see, like, Japanese drama.
Yeah.
That's basically, Russia was much the same as far as, like, school and teaching went. Like, teachers were really respected. Teachers were your, like, second parents, so they were esteemed. You had to bring them flowers on the first day. We wore, big bows and stuff on our hair. Okay,
so it was almost like more of a community.
Yeah, I think so. Just the education was just more, taken seriously, at least back then. Now I know my mom is or my grandma, she was an educator.
Is she still in Russia?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's retired. She's not a teacher anymore, but she's been for 40 years, I think.
Okay.
And she's saying how everything's so different now, but,
and is your grandma in the same area where you grew up?
Yeah, she just moved from Kamchatka to Petersburg, St. Petersburg area.
And that's more in mainland Russia.
Yeah, that's further east, that's super east Russia. And we live west of Russia.
I was going to say that doesn't make sense.
It's closer to Europe. Yeah, it's super pretty. St. Petersburg is beautiful, has the palaces and the great architecture from the the Tsar times. So
right.
Cool.
Okay. So your grandpa?
No, they're divorced.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I don't know much about my grandpa. He was a sailor, so
okay.
They still live in the same house, but they don't talk to each other. I don't know how that works out for them, but yeah.
But and I remember we talked about because you had a house and you were outside. Where you actually lived was kind of out. You were in I don't know if call it a suburb, but you were outside of a main city.
Yeah.
And obviously winters are harsh, but there was I think you guys shared some property where you could grow your food, your vegetables in the summertime, and then you would package and pickle or whatever.
I think I talked a lot about that for some reason.
Yeah,
on
it
the
was
last
awesome.
Podcast.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Well, just the way of life is pretty different. You don't have much to compare to, obviously. So you're just happy with what you have.
Well, and you talked about the infrastructure just wasn't there. And this was a great analogy. I remember this because you were like, look, if you wanted to go out and go on a hike, it's not like there's a paved SR-14 road to go out in the gorge and drive to a hike where
you'd have to take a lot of gravel back roads to try to find a local that can point you.
Experience nature and
it's
if you want to call
hard.
it recreation,
There's
take a hike. There's beautiful places,
but they're all wild.
Just to get there,
they're all wild, and it's basically
easy.
Survival. Yeah. So if you want to go out and do stuff, it's the only really real place is the city. If you want to go camping, you'd have to know someone that knows a spot that's safe enough for you to be, because it's a bear country.
Because they don't just have campgrounds. They don't have
campgrounds.
State or
yes. And the biome is kind of like permafrost. A lot of times, up in the north a little bit, we have a lot of volcanoes. First of all, Kamchatka is the most densely populated land with volcanoes, active volcanoes. So
Really?
a lot of earthquakes. Like 36 volcanoes in like, some mile radius. It's crazy. It's like insane. A lot of earthquakes, a lot of beautiful, beautiful landscapes and like rockscapes and steppies. It's like, miles of just like crunchy moss and whatever wildflowers and
So
a lot of
it
bears.
is beautiful, but again, I think
it's wild.
Your point was it's like it's not you can't like here in America we have these beautiful spots that we designate as national parks or whatever scenic places, but you can literally drive to it and then go experience it. Russia has those places, but just even to get there to enjoy it is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, and not that you would have to have like a guide. There's like local guides that will take you somewhere, but they're expensive. So you just kind of have to know people that know a place that's cool. So.
And then I remember the house. I'm trying to remember the heating situation because you didn't.
Oh, let me tell you all about it.
You didn't have like a hot water heater.
No, it's like the stove. It's like a wooden / coal stove in our bathroom. It's not even the center of like
the house.
The house. It's like tucked away in a bathroom, which is the center. Weirdly, it's like the layout was weird. Okay. I would describe it's not like we lived in a shack and like it's buildings. They're not pretty, but it was like a condo layout.
Oh, okay. So several residences kind of attached?
Yes, attached. Oh, and you'd have like stories and stuff.
Okay.
So apartment / condo type of thing, except they're really run down. Not updated at all in their sketch, but it's your place. You get to own it. It's not very expensive. That's what we had. And the heating situation was like a wood stove thing that connects to all the pipes that have water, and it would heat that.
That's right. So you had a pipe system that runs through the house, and the wood you have to literally wood fire, right?
It would fire coal
to heat the place.
Yeah. So
and then
it was really accessible for us somehow. Like we had like a whole for the whole condo place, like the house. The building. Everyone got to use coal, like and downstairs they'd like drive huge trucks of just like coal
and just resupply it.
Yeah, resupply it. So that was really accessible, and but water turned on only like every 3 days. So
it turned off.
Yeah, they turn off the water. There's not enough water, like ration water.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, like, if you wanted to take a shower.
No, you can't take a shower.
Oh, my God.
We'd fill it like a bathtub of water for a few days, so we'd have something to use and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, really weird.
And there was you, your mom, your dad, and 2 sisters?
Yeah, just my other sister. My little sister came around when we were starting to move, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy. And then our grandma lived with us for a long time.
And then what was the food storage thing? Because again, you have to plan. You grow a lot of your food in the summertime on almost like a shared garden.
So you kind of have a summer, like it's called dacha. It's a summer home that you grow all your stuff in. Like a greenhouse type of like place.
And wasn't it like a community? Like you shared it with
Yeah, you can
people?
share it with people. Not everyone has their own plot of land and can live on the dacha and take care of it. So you share it with like 5 people, and then you go and take care of all the crops, but like interchangeably, because you still have to work. You still live in the city, but then you drive out and like you take care of it. Sometimes you stay at the summer house, just to keep watch. But yeah, some people have their own. If you were well off and you could afford to, like kind of live there for the summer.
But you have to plan.
Yeah,
you have to plan. You have to grow your food,
and then you have
to store it for the winter time, which is probably pretty harsh.
Yeah, and you have to can mostly everything. So like Russians love their pickled stuff.
Can and pickle it.
Yes, canning, pickling, making jams and stuff.
And I think I remember you saying normal. That the fish. Because you're right there by the ocean. So seafood. As far as protein,
but there's not enough infrastructure to make that accessible for the locals. Because a lot of pirate fishing.
You mentioned that where they would they would make it too expensive, or like they would.
Well, they would raise the prices even for the locals. They don't really care.
Yeah.
They're gonna have buyers, but So, and there's a lot of just a lot of lawless fishing going on. Just not. They don't care about environment. They just care about making money. So.
Yeah.
But my grandpa, so he was a sailor, right? A captain of like a co-captain of a ship for the Russian Navy. Sometimes they would fish, because they're stationed out in the ocean for so long. they fish their own things, and we have a ton of like Japanese giant crabs, king crabs. We have abundance of that, and salmon, because this is right across from Alaska. If you remember, the ocean, the Alaskan Ocean, it's shared with Russia too, so it's all
right.
You know,
it's all the same water.
Same water, and amazing crab. And my grandpa would be the only one that would like give us some seafood when he came back to the mainland. So it was really cool. I remember we had like he'd bring like 3 buckets of crab, just like huge crab legs already, like they already what do you call it, cleaned it out for you,
right,
and it just
filleted or whatever you want to call
it. Just
prepped.
Huge, prepped, and it just, you take out like this stick of crab and you're just eating it and you're like having the best time of your life. It's awesome. I remember that really well. So yeah,
that is so cool. You have those kind of clear memories from
it's just like snapshots. I don't remember everything, but there's like clear snapshots of how things looked, how something felt, or like exciting moments like that. Yeah.
And we also talked about the difference with the holidays. You did have a Christmas tree, but there was something about
Christmas
New
was
Year's.
New Year. Christmas was New Year and 4th of July, because you did fireworks, and it was such a big deal. And we didn't have Santa Claus. He was called Uncle Frost or something like that.
Right. There was a different different figure that represented Christmas.
And he had like a sidekick. She's like basically Elsa, and she's Santa's like helper.
Okay.
She does frost and stuff, whatever. I don't know. Just she's
But you would
nice.
Have a Christmas tree, whatever.
Yeah, have a Christmas tree.
Because wasn't the I don't know if it's Russian Orthodox. What is the dominant religion?
Eastern Orthodox.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's essentially Christian, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's Christian. The holiday was Christian, so.
Do you read from the same Bible or?
Yeah, we do. Oddly enough, I think everything on the West here is super similar, just a little backwards.
Yeah. Well, America's good at that. Taking shit and fucking it up. So.
Yeah. Well, New Year's.
I'm not anti-American. Okay, I'm making a joke. Stop it. That's for the listeners that I don't have.
Just in case a listener does come on. No, but so like New Year's was such a big deal for us because you'd get oranges, which you can never get during the year. Food was pretty scarce.
I remember you saying that like fresh fruit was almost unattainable.
Yeah, you'd buy a pomegranate for like equivalent of like $12, just one pomegranate, and it'd be rotten. And you can't return it. Like the vendor's gone. So it's.
But if you
really
actually
sad.
got some good fresh fruit, that was like an occasion.
Yeah, it was. And oranges and like mandarins are the most common thing, but you would want to have a full bag of oranges on New Year's because it's a big deal and you can eat them. It's really cool.
That's how you celebrate.
So, I mean, we're just happy with less. We were happier with like less stuff, less like gadgets and stuff. Just I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about this on the other podcast, that the contrast from America, which just has an abundance. Like that comedian Ronnie Chung has a great stand up where he talks about the abundance of everything in America. It's like holy shit,
and it's still not enough. People are still after
that's the problem.
Things, and which is like we're supposed to want to better ourselves, right? But it's not about stuff. It's not about like how much stuff or what kind of cool stuff you have. A lot of conversations that you hear to me that are just like, okay, and what? So what? Like a new grill or something. Oh, I got a better grill. Like you have 3 other grills, just because this one can smoke a little better. Like I don't get the point of that. You already have a grill. It's working great. Make the best of it. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on another grill just because your buddy Jeffrey over here got that same grill. He one upped you and was like, oh, how dare he type of thing. It's weird. Like
it's like,
and we fall into that same mentality, and you have to like step away from that and be just like okay with having less stuff, but being more grateful and like making the most of that, and just like trying to catch moments and like hangouts and friendships instead of like stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole.
It doesn't make you happier.
It's
not
kind of like
necessarily.
it's the joke of, I don't know if it's a meme. I'm sure there's a meme about it, but it's like whoever dies with the most stuff wins. And it's not just America. In any first world country, there's that kind of attitude with a lot of people. Anybody that has like I
generational wealth is nice, right? Like you kind of acquire wealth so your kids can have it, but at the same time, you don't need like 3 different cars.
Yeah.
Like that's consumer like mindset, right? And they want you to think that way. Like
Yes.
America as a capitalist nation wants you to have that mentality so they can sell you more stuff.
Because that's how capitalism works. They have to create the need or the drive.
Yeah, and it's short-term focused. It's not long-term focused for sure.
It's not sustainable.
Not sustainable either. A lot of waste. We're the most wasteful country in the world, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not, our quality of life is not necessarily like we're not any happier. We're the most depressed country in the world at the same time.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, yeah, and you just see, I don't know. You know, I feel like I'm sounding here like I know everything in key to happiness, but I just don't. It's just whatever we have doesn't really work.
But that's why I was interested in talking with you, because again, you have a unique perspective coming from where you came from, and I think that's I think that's valuable. I know for a
fact we were happier as a family there, and just people in general are, you know, you think Russians are all these like strict and like.
Well, very stoic and stuff. Remember,
like, we have a drinking problem.
Your tire shop picture, we're like, why didn't you smile? And you're like, I am smiling.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I didn't want to
That's
like
a Russian
grin.
smile.
Yeah, I don't know. He just started snapping pictures, and I didn't know if he was taking them or not. So
no, but the point was, the perception, I guess, of at least for Americans, the perception of Russians is that they're very stoic and.
Yeah, we're a bunch of drunkards doing vodka every day and
stuff.
stuff. But like. It's something that stems from all the way to, like, we always had wars. We're always, like, we are kind of, like, a sad people because we always have dictators of various sorts just coming in.
Yeah, there used to be the czars.
Really? Yeah, the czars.
Which in the last episode, you explained to me that is the same as, like, the English kings. It's a monarchy.
It is a monarchy.
Czar is the same as a king in England.
Yeah, but we have so much people and so much land and so much resources that aren't tapped into because the czars are pretty, every monarchy are really, like, selfish. They don't really care about how the common person lives, and Russia was worse than anything else.
Whether it's a monarchy or a kingship, their main focus is keeping the power they have and trying to get more power.
Exploit.
That's the goal of that is.
And
not uplifting the common people. They want to make sure. And that's why
when communism came in, the idea of like, hey, we all share something, we all like put in the effort, we all get the same amount, equality and stuff.
Was that
utopic.
The origin of communists? Wasn't it supposed to be?
Yeah, the Bolsheviks and stuff. I'm please, history people, don't like hate me for this. I'm not, but like it stemmed out from like, hey, we're piss poor. Like, how do we have all these rich people? And it's something that echoes throughout all the governments and stuff right now. We see like the 1% are living insanely rich lives and stuff, and we're just trying to get by, with what we have and like on our salaries and stuff, and we're not happy with that. We want like to bridge that gap, and even though we have like a large number of middle class, like it's still, the gap is like widening.
The middle class is disappearing.
Yeah, middle class is disappearing.
It's becoming more. You're either the 1% or you're getting to lower class. Yeah,
and it's, I don't know the condition of our whatever nowadays, but I know for sure that's something that was like prevalent in the Tsar like era. Like people were piss poor, like just dying of like hunger, and while like in the cities they lived like lavish lives and stuff, built palaces.
Did the Tsars end around World War I? Is that
when it was 18? Man, I don't even know. 1870s, I think. I want to say. It's
kind of when it transitioned to the communist state?
Yeah, the Communist Party.
Okay. Which
1880s.
That's a problem in America. I mean, obviously I grew up and went to school here. That word communist was it just had such a negative connotation.
Oh, it is. It is negative now.
It's just an idea.
Yeah, it's an idea that.
But you could also say Democrat, Republican, socialism. It is a word describing
ideal or like
an
idea. Government ideal.
It doesn't. The word itself is not negative.
The idea of it that Karl Marx is an extreme person, but like an in between of that would be just an ideal where everyone shares. Put it in the equal amount of work, and everything's governmentized. So it's like, it's the opposite of, what do you call it?
Capitalism?
Yeah. damn it.
It kind of
I'm
is.
losing my mind right now. Yeah, it's opposite of capitalism, but in some cases it can work if the people in power weren't just absolute selfish jerks, right?
Right.
Trying to, gain and keep that power. Like everyone else. Like it's always going to be the same thing over and over again in whatever shape or form it takes. So the ideals that we have kind of have to balance each other out, not just like an extreme this side, extreme that side. I'm talking in vague terms now, but it just totally didn't work because the people in power turned up being dictators and no one can get ahead. We didn't have checks and balances. We didn't have anyone keeping that power in check because, like, here's all the working class. You guys are all the same, trying to get all the same, but like, there'd people be working more and people working less. Just they're not doing anything but getting the same amount.
So there's no incentive.
Work. Yeah, there's no incentive because we're all like pitching into one big thing and we're not gonna like rise above each other. So yeah, so people lose the incentive. They're like, I don't want to be like you, I want to be better than you. So they go and work for the government and kick you down and try to keep you in your place. So it's whatever.
I just thought of this because I think we touched on it the last time, but it's been a few months. And you still have family and whatever in Russia. It's funny, the news cycle, because it's been going on for more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
The Ukraine-Russian war.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been more than a year? Fuck.
I think it has.
Because it started in February of 2022.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But again, all of a sudden, for the first several months, you heard about it all the time. Now it's but it's still actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Shit is still going on.
I stopped following the news at one point because you just don't know. Like,
but that's what I was going to ask. Are you, because you have family, are you getting
they're
good information about what's happening?
At first, they weren't pro-Putin. Now they are.
I'm sorry?
They're pro-Putin now. My family, like my dad's side of the family, at first they were being all like civil about how the war's going, how what's fair, what's not fair, why are we doing this, why aren't we doing this. So we are getting biased news here, right? And they're biased news over there. There's no unbiased like news source. You can look at both sides and try to come up with your own conclusion, but everything is just so like convoluted.
So I was just curious if you're getting the people, the Russian people that live there, what their perspective is. Mm-hmm. Has it changed? It sounds like it
has. At first no one's happy with the war. First of all, it's bad for everyone. It's bad for their economy. We were just going on the rise. Like Putin was doing right things when he first became like president. Well, he's a dictator now. You can't even call him president. But like at first he was doing a lot of right things people were happy with, and he just started changing and doing, going after his own agenda, basically expansionist or conquer. I don't know what he's doing. He thinks Ukraine is like their territory and stuff. Well, the whole we call it Soviet Union used to be like one big Soviet Union, right? And there's a bunch of countries that were
a bunch of Eastern European countries that used to be part of it.
And a lot of times the borders are kind of like, okay, well, this is a city that used to be Russians, but now it's theirs, but like we're trying to get it back. Like, why are we doing that? That's theirs. Leave it alone. We don't need it. Just focus on the huge amount of land that we already have and just tap into that. It's like, just do that. It's weird. That's my perspective. Like, that's my opinion on that. And well, now my grandma thinks Putin should just do his thing, like at first she like wasn't happy with everything that was happening, but now she's like excusing his behavior, right? A lot of people just want this to be over,
right? And
they're taking sides because that's what people are forcing them to do, right? Everyone hates Russians now. Like, no one likes Russians, and like neither. So they have such heavy sanctions that Russia had a lot like like drop in economy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I sound like a klutz right now. And it's just been bad for them. So they're starting up their own companies and starting up their own stuff, but now they're just this closed country. I think it's gonna they're gonna be self-sustainable in a few years. So it's bad to have cut all contact with Russia.
They're almost isolating themselves.
Yeah, they're isolated, and there's so many people. They're gonna like do better. No one wants to be stuck in this like economic like crisis. So people are gonna start doing something about it. Not rely on outside sources to help them, like import for food. Like we got a lot of our fruits and stuff and whatever from China, like Malaysia and like China. We had a lot of business with them, but now we don't have any right? Well, China's still kind of partnered with Russia, but like so much of our resources and like for food, for like stuff has been lost that we're just gonna start making it all ourselves, like producing. I'm saying like we as Russia, because I'm just trying to be relatable to Russians, but like Russians are gonna be self-sustainable, and that's like bad for everyone, I think, in the long run, because they're gonna be a power that thinks that they have enough to be like self-sufficient and they can go against anyone, you know, because they don't have anything that's keeping them.
So
like, why should I be friends with you? You don't have anything to offer.
If they isolate themselves too much, they're almost separating themselves from the world community.
Yeah, like I don't need you because you don't bring me anything. We don't have any partnerships, right?
It's a small world, and it'd be better if everybody kind of helped each other.
Yeah, like
I see what you're saying.
World economy would be better if we kind of like codependent on each other, right?
Yeah.
Because you have something to offer. Like, hey, if you don't stop that right now, we'll stop our shipment of like oranges or whatever, which everyone eats in the country. Like, that's bad. You don't want that to happen.
It all becomes just a I hate that. It's
I know, politics.
Well, and it's unfortunately most of the time it goes back to just the male friggin' ego. It's always a dick size contest. Like everybody wants to mine's bigger than yours. I'm like, God fucking man. I think we talked about this in the last podcast, and I've touched on it in several other episodes. You know, for the vast majority of human history, it's kind of been a male-dominated world. I'd like to think that there was always strong female influences behind the scenes helping, because I don't understand, and I'm not a man hater, but I'm surprised every day that the human race actually survived. With men running the show, because men are fucking stupid sometimes. I think
war doesn't make sense. Like, if you try to wrap your mind around it, nothing's that deep. Nothing is worth a huge population sacrificing itself for. Like, what cause are we standing behind?
From the origin of the human species through hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. These instincts that lead us currently to do things like go to war with the country came from our evolution before, you know, we were where we're at now. And that hasn't been evolved out of. Humans still have those primal instincts that make them do stupid shit when it's not necessary anymore. There used to be hundreds of thousands of years ago, there was probably a reason that you had that instinct, that you had to go to war, because that might have been like, if we don't go to war against the tribe next door, we're not going to have food. You know, we're competing over the same
survival.
But now
like for resources.
We're in a place where we have technology that can provide for everybody. We don't have to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
But it's also
weird that Russia's a huge piece of chunk of land. It's huge, ginormous. Yeah, we have a lot of permafrost or whatever. That's not an excuse. Like, we can tap into what we have. We have huge amounts of like forest.
I mean, there's a big part of Russia that is not frozen over.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And it's still not populated, and there's so much people that don't have good enough jobs. So, you know, have like if I don't know, there seems to be like, we should focus on what's happening, developing our country, trying to better the lives of everyone, you know, so everyone will have enough, so everyone will be happy. So when we have to go to war because someone's attacking us or something, you know, we don't have to like be unhappy. I don't know, like, war is just, it's not that deep. Nothing's that deep to kill over. It's so
especially
dumb.
not whether it's philosophical or, you know, religious. I mean, countries go to war for stupid shit.
Always. So
all right, let's get back to you.
Anyway, politics. That's our hot takes on this. Thanks for sticking around.
This is why I don't.
Yep.
This is why I don't script this, because I like it to go where it's going to go.
But then I feel like I sounded like a big idiot. Like, I know
you don't.
I'm trying to like formulate what I'm thinking. You know, all these big stuff. But I can't. I don't sound eloquent. I'm not like a linguist.
You sound fine and you sound eloquent. Knock it off.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Again, you have unique perspectives, and that's why I wanted to talk to you about it. But okay, came here, turned 9, I think, just after you got here. Went to school, learned English. Ended up back down here, the battleground area, and your mom was opening that hotel. But you went to high school
here.
In Battleground, or what was it?
Yeah,
it wasn't
called
Battleground
Cam
High
Academy.
School.
It's like an alternative school.
Right.
It's for
that's
people
what I
actually wanted to learn or whatever, because public schools here are just full of people that are just have to go to school, and they don't,
I think you played some sports in high school, but you had
Mhm.
you played the sports for Battleground High School, even though you were going to a different. Is that right?
Yeah, I played for who did I play for? Not Battleground High School. Um, it's Firm Foundation. It's like a Christian private school
Okay.
thing. It just didn't Battleground just didn't have enough
What was
like
the what was it, volleyball?
volleyball in ninth grade and stuff.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just intimidated by people's what do you call it? Competitive, like no sportsmanship among the girls that played volleyball.
Was it kind of catty?
It was really catty, dude. It was terrible. I was like, I don't like this volleyball thing enough to, go against. So
Did you only play the freshman year?
Yeah, I only played volleyball freshman year. My friend played for for Battleground High School for years. For like tennis, she was really great.
Okay.
I was never the sporty type necessarily, so I like to think I'm sporty, but all throughout middle school, I did cross country and just like
You ran cross country
in
middle
and
school.
I did what do you call it? Oh my goodness, just running, jumping stuff. What is it called?
Like track and field?
Track and field.
Okay.
Damn it. Thank you. Yeah, I need that tea. Let me get some.
Every now and then, you're thinking of the Russian word and you're trying to find the one in English. And
Yeah, it's weird. I used to think in Russian. Now I think in half and half, so I'm not good at either.
So does it? Well, I was gonna say, does that get kind of confusing when you have two languages in your head? Because
yeah, like I said, I'm not very I'm more of like a visual, creative, whatever. Express things differently. I don't necessarily use words. Like I like using words, but I'm like not 100% fluent in Russian, neither in English. Sometimes I'm trying to find Russian is so much more descriptive.
right.
English isn't.
It's a more. We talked about this too. That's why I'm trying to learn it. It's a more poetic language.
I think so. You just have a ton more. Like you can describe a descriptive. You're trying to describe a tree. There's so much more ways you can describe a tree in Russian. Like hundreds more words you can use for that. Like English might have 30. Descriptive. What do you call it?
Yeah, adjectives.
Yeah, for that. So there you go.
Well,
sometimes you're trying to formulate something
and when I was
give a depth to my sentence.
We were
it's hard
talking
to
about oh god, this was hilarious. A few months ago, the one Russian guy, when I was trying to speak Russian to him and you had to help me, but I was saying something wrong because the word for man and car is that what it was? It was very close.
Yeah,
I was saying
I think so.
Machina?
Uh-huh.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's car.
But then what is man or
Mushina?
Mushina. That's what it was. Mushina versus machina.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. And so
but that's not even the worst of it. Like
I remember I called him. I think I had him on the phone to say his car was ready, and instead of saying your car is ready, I was like your man is ready because I mispronounced it, and you were just laughing your ass off.
Yeah, he was like he probably got the point of
but
it.
But he also I think appreciated that I was trying.
Yeah, it's nice to see someone totally not Russian trying to speak the Russian language.
I am so not Russian.
It's impressive. It's actually really hard. Like the fact that you're trying to do this is climbing 100
awesome.
flights of stairs.
Well, but also I think especially as you get older, if you want to prevent cognitive decline, you have to keep learning. You have to keep using your brain, creating new neural pathways. That holds off, I believe, like Alzheimer's and dementia and shit.
Yeah.
You have to keep using your gosh damn brain. And what better way than to try to learn Russian? Like one of the hardest languages, maybe other than Japanese.
Yeah. I think, no, there's actually so many more languages harder than Russian. I was surprised.
Really?
I think Russian's 23rd hardest language in the world. There's 22 languages.
I'm having trouble with that, although English might be one of the hard ones because there's so many exceptions to the gosh damn rules.
English is not one of the hardest,
really?
Actually. Yeah, it's a little dumb, but it's, it's
simple.
It's simple to talk to and, speak it. It's not.
Well, so
except
does the
when
Russian
you're trying
language, like English has so many slang terms. Does Russian have a lot of slang terms? Or is it more formal?
I think it's more formal.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I ever have to be serious or write something serious or a thought down, or to my parents, I write in Russian because it sounds so much more formal. So.
Well, okay, so the English, and instead of saying, you meet somebody and say, hello, sir, I am Ken. It is good to meet you. Or like Americans or English speakers will just go up and say, hey, what's up, man? Does Russian have that kind of casual slang, or is it?
Not really, because you would address older or with a respectful term. There's different, like, you respectful, you, like, how you sounds like direct and casual. You would never say that to someone older than you, and it doesn't matter who.
So maybe,
like,
I guess
men,
a better
women.
example is if you're greeting somebody, you can either say hello or you say what's up. So Russian language doesn't have the
you can have what's up, but you would never do that to people you don't know. You don't. How do I say this? Like, whenever I'm translating to someone, like, I'm never like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Like, I'm like, hello, like formal, formal hello. How are you, formal, doing? Like, there's just there's no like word that's a formal you. It's just like direct you. How, that's See, I can't. There's no way to. Okay. There's a formal you, formal like address, and when you're speaking to someone, you can make it sound formal just because the ending that you add to the words will have like
will change the meaning.
Will change the address, like a form of address. Yeah. So you can try. So the same word, like, go do this. Go get a drink of water, or you would never just say, hey, go get a drink of water, or like, do you want to? You'd be like, give the that same sentence would sound really different depending on who you're addressing. So you can know from that one sentence if you're addressing a girl or a guy. Okay. Right? They have like a.
Oh, that's right.
A gender kind of specific.
Yes.
And it can be gender specific, formal or casual, or like kind of like.
I had to. My
You're
Rosetta
flexing
Stone.
your 1 week of
Here we go.
Russian. Hey, I love that for you. Love it.
Мужчина ест.
He's flexing his 1 week of Rosetta Stone, guys.
Oh, you're still making fun of me. I've practiced that core lesson a couple of times, damn it.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only core lesson you practice, though.
No, I've gone through 3 of them.
Okay.
I just need to focus more on it, because when I have downtime, I'm usually playing guitar, but I need to commit more time to that. If it's actually, I know. Stop making fun of me.
Hey,
I am committed. I'm
impressed that you're even willing to go that far. So.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah. It's actually a really beautiful language.
It is.
It's really poetic. Like when you write poetry in it, it's just, whoa, it just rocks your world, type of thing.
Yes.
But it's definitely harder to speak in nowadays for me, because English is really simplified. You don't have to, address someone politely, not politely, just so many things that are absent in English.
And this is something I kind of struggle is the wrong word, but I'm always aware of, because at our work at Costco, we have a lot of Eastern European / Russian, but there's no way. I'm always self-conscious of it, because I have no way to know if they're Russian or Ukrainian or any other Eastern, because there is a difference in, and I don't want to insult them, especially now.
You can ask them, do you speak Russian? Because they, like most Eastern European can speak Russian because of Soviet Union. Okay. That was the universal language for all the countries, but it's not necessarily like, they can be Romanian but can speak Russian. They speak Romanian too. It's very similar.
So is it easier for a Romanian to understand Russian?
Yeah.
But not vice versa?
No, not vice versa. I can't understand Romanian at all.
It's that different.
Really hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of like no. It's rude to call it a sub because they develop it on their own. Okay. But there's a Slavic language. There's Slavic roots in all of them, right? But they developed by themselves. I think Ukrainian, I can understand it. I can't speak it because it's such a strong, I don't want to say dialect. I don't want to offend anyone, right? But they're just so similar. Like, I can understand a Ukrainian person because I've been around Ukrainians in my church a lot. I know kind of like what the words kind of mean,
So you can
and stuff.
understand it if they're speaking to you, but you couldn't put a sentence.
No, I can't.
But
I can't
but
fake
they
that.
can understand Russian.
Yes,
So you
they
can
all
respond
understand.
in Russian, and they can
Mhm.
understand you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting like that.
Yes, yes, right there. First door on the left. I'll pause it.
It was the coffee, man.
It was the what?
The coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
You had coffee before you came over?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you got the shits,
Well, I made a pot, but you told me you liked the tea, so.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's get back into two sisters.
All about me.
You're
right?
the oldest, right?
I am. I don't look the oldest, but it's okay.
So your sister that just got her nursing degree,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
She looks older. Everyone thinks she looks older and stuff. And
okay, but she's 20.
Yeah, 21.
21. Okay, and then your other sister is
17.
And
Yeah.
do you guys all still live with your parents?
All still live together. No reason not to,
Right.
Yeah.
And
from
your
my mama.
mom is a friggin' rock star.
Yeah,
Thank God for her.
And we're like friends now, she gets us, and we're all still trying to like help my little sister out. She's had some struggles, and stuff. So
Because
she
is she like a senior? Senior high school?
Yeah, she is, and it's been hard on her and stuff, like everything. So she's in the teen rebel phase that like wants to be understood and loved.
I'm sure you went through that.
Yeah, we all went through that. It's fine, except it's been so long for her. Like that period of time, we're just like, okay, I hope she levels out, and becomes cool-headed.
Shouldn't you be past this by now?
Yeah. No, I think I heard I read a study where they said it's for most people it's like age 14, 15, 16, and some kids are 16, 17, 18. That's their transitioning kind of like into adulthood phase that they're, being rebel and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all normal things. It'll pass, and we're trying to be there for her, just love her for who she is and let her figure herself out. So
I don't
What?
Well, on the last podcast, we again, I don't want to get into stuff you don't want to.
Well, thanks for prompting me because I forgot everything I talked about in the last podcast.
Well, yeah, your mom, rock star. But she's as far as her health, is it getting better?
Yeah. It's stable. It's not dropping.
Good.
You
Okay.
know? So she has issues.
Right.
For example, it's like she was diagnosed with anorexia a couple years ago. She just can't gain weight, not because she doesn't want to. She has,
but there was
stomach
also
issues
some.
and
I
whatever.
think she has some
throws
food
everything up.
sensitivities and
Yeah, she throws stuff up, not because she wants to. It just that
that's
happens
what I meant.
and whatever. So
we don't have to go into detail.
I know,
but I know.
But it's just, things that stack up. She's like a bouquet of, like problems. So, but
I mean,
we've been
gosh,
there for her.
she's in. I forgot what. Is she bakery?
She's in the deli.
Deli, that's right. I'm sorry, but she always because I see her in the break room all the time, and I notice she always gets off around 1 or 2. So she must have a pretty much early morning schedule.
From 7 to like 2 or 3.
That makes
sense. That's her schedule. Okay. Yeah, she's pretty happy with it, I think. Yeah, except.
Well, she's
always
it's
a mess in there.
She's always again. Which this is what's amazing, and it's probably from her culture. Always positive. She always has so much positive energy. Like when I see her at work, I have never seen her looking sad, ever.
She's always sad.
Always positive and happy and.
Hey, well, it's the people that put on the happiest face that are like,
Yeah.
in the backgrounds.
I know, but I just think that's super cool.
I know it's important for her to know that people feel like safe and like positive around her. She feeds off that
a good
energy.
way to put it. She definitely makes everybody she encounters. She makes them feel good. Yeah,
well, which is like a unique trait about her because like at first I thought it was kind of like being double-faced or whatever, like you're not being
two-faced, right?
Really you, but actually she just like she knows she can feel safe with us and she can be herself. I'm not saying she's angry and like pissed. No, I'm just saying like it's not like that, when she's relaxed and feels,
right.
She feels like she can let her true emotions out, things that burden her that,
Yeah.
She doesn't want to burden strangers or people that she sees in everyday life.
Oh, I totally get that.
So
oh my God, I am the same way. Where, I mean, you obviously know my situation, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on, and I'm like, there's still most people don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm the same way. Like, I don't want everybody has their own stress and
Yeah.
problems. I don't want to put my crap on somebody
Mm-hmm.
and burden them with that, so
Yeah.
I like to keep it private if I
Yeah.
can. And
Yeah,
that
which
sounds
is
like
like
that's
everyone's different. Like I can't be like my mom. I can't be always like chirpy and happy because that's not me.
Oh,
Like
you're always super happy in the tire shop.
no, I'm not. Listen, I come in and I'm just like, dude, I'm having such a bad day. I'm just gonna be
Uh,
reserved. Like at
you
least.
want me in here today, or should I just go to carts?
Well, yeah, like just get it over with. I'm never like mean. I try not to be. At one
You're
point, it
not.
was
I'm just
hard.
kidding. You're always awesome.
But yeah, it's kind of like how much do I let myself be myself, and how much do I care about other people to not burden them with my
Right.
shit like you said.
Yeah, there is,
So.
as with everything, there is a balance there of you want to be yourself, and it's okay to
Mhm.
experience what you're going through.
Yeah, and
But
I'm
also,
sure
you
other
don't
people
want
have
to. Sometimes
insight
you don't
for
want to
you.
share too much.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things one thing I learned also is like people don't really like necessarily care. It sounds very pessimistic.
No, that's actually
But
that's very.
if you say something what you're going through, they're going through something too. They don't care
Yeah.
exactly like there's some people that will want to fix something for you, or just there's some people that will listen. Some people have advice for you. Some people don't want to listen to it, which is fine. You
Yeah.
could tell who it is,
Yeah.
But mostly, like, no one really cares about me as much as me. So, like, or, your close people around you or your friends. Coworkers fall into that category. If you're close enough, they'll care about what's going on, but I don't have any input on it, so why do I care?
But
I'll
there
listen
is
if you want to say something.
sometimes, and it's not just coworkers; it's everybody
Mhm.
that you are around. There's certain people that there's a line that they can be supportive to a point,
Mhm.
but if it goes past that,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
there's too much of your private life that you're sharing, right? There is that
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
And there's some people that don't share anything, so you're like, well, they're a mystery and they don't really care about us, so they don't want to say anything, which is like you don't want to get that. And,
Or they just don't want to burden people. So
Yeah.
but I know what you mean.
But there's some people that are like, well, you never share anything about yourself, so you must not really like us or something. And I don't want to do that.
You can't
for sure.
win.
Yeah, you can't win. So just be you. Don't care about what other people think of you. You don't have to be afraid of people's opinions. Everyone's going to have their own opinion.
Right.
It doesn't affect you in any sort of way unless they go after you, which is like, you can fight them for that. Like, screw you, Just don't care about what people think. Just be you, honestly.
Yeah. I try to, like, I definitely seek input. I definitely
Mhm.
want other people's. I'll listen. I try to take input and then filter it with what's going to help me.
Mhm.
And
Or who people that you look up to when they have actual advice to give,
Yeah.
or something that they do, positive traits that you want to implement,
yes.
or sort of like look up to. Those are the people that you should let like influence you in somehow, Or
Right.
if someone has criticism to you. If they don't matter, if they're mean, if they're relevant, if they're not helpful, not supportive, you don't want to be like them. Then
Yeah.
what's your opinion on what I'm doing? Anything. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care what you say.
Yeah, you
And
want to
it
surround
took-
yourself with positive, supportive people.
Yeah.
Also, surround yourself with people that you maybe can learn something from.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Or
yeah.
like their character. Some people's character traits are super attractive to me. I'm like, wow,
Yes.
I want to be like you. The way you handle life is so graceful. Like, I like that.
Yes.
Or
We
something.
all.
If you have something to say
we
to
all
me
want to be like
about-
Justin. Yes, we're all modeling.
Wow.
The only reason I brought that up is on the last podcast we talked shit about him in a fun way, but I had to bring that up.
We
Like,
love
we're all trying to
Justin.
model ourselves off of Justin because Justin is our hero.
Yeah. That was so sarcastic, man.
You
Justin's
think?
great. you
But I
know?
also in
Actually,
the last podcast
I've started noticing a soft side. He's actually really chill when he gets to know you. Like, he's chill down.
Oh,
so.
Justin's a great guy. And
Yeah,
I
he's
said it
so
on the
funny.
last podcast after joking about it. I was like,
Mhm.
he is actually a really good person. And the reason I keep busting his balls and calling him out is because I want him to be on the podcast, but he wants me to ask him
Mhm.
and beg him to be on it. and he's gonna mess with
Hey,
me.
you basically begged me to be on the podcast, and I felt so like, dang, I have to do this now. You
yes,
convinced
you do.
me.
That was a tactic.
Maybe he wants you to convince him. So
he does. He does. No, I love Justin. And I'll get him on here
I'm sure
eventually.
he has good things to say.
But I
really
also told him that I have to do it. Bree has to be on it too. I want to do it with him and his wife together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think that would be amazing.
Well, he really loves her. You know, it just speaks
yes.
for how like they're a good couple and stuff.
No, they're awesome.
Yeah.
But I just think
except he has in his context just like like or sweetie or like light of my life. It's just wife. I give him so much crap about that. It was really funny. No, he has like hearts and like whatever on next to it. But I was just like, I looked at his comments just.
How do you know that? That you looked at?
I
his
saw
phone?
it felt like he was putting it like his speaker or like his music on, and I just saw like a message popped up of like wife. I was like, Justin, that is so like impersonal. You know, you don't love her. You just not even a name, not even like sweetie or like a pet name or whatever.
That
just
is a
wife.
term of endearment, wife.
Yeah, I guess so. To me, I was like, wow, you guys are cold. But I'm just kidding. I was giving him crap.
We are picking on you, Justin. Sorry. That was not planned.
He's fun to pick on. Anyway.
All right. So anything since April?
Any life updates and stuff?
Life updates, but also because again, we talked. You're obviously happy at Costco, but not sure if it's going to be a career.
I mean, yeah, I have like.
We opened it up by talking about your artwork, but AI is obviously kind of causing issues.
I am maybe I'm looking for excuses of why not to, But it's like, if I do art, like I produce some cool pieces, I think, but it takes so much time and like my soul it goes into that. Like how commercialized do I want to make that? Maybe I should just keep that like not private, but something that's personal to me, not the world for it to see, I guess.
Well, and you
produce works that maybe like I need to get so good at, I do it so often that I can produce something that's not like, tied to my soul, I guess. And I'm selling my soul out. So maybe I should I think I need to get skills that are more hard skills, not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's still creative. It
and
still takes creative
power. You could do
power.
all the work you want and keep it private until you're ready to share it.
I think I was thinking of going into like 3D stuff, like 3D modeling, 3D rigging. It takes a lot of effort and everyone basically needs it. Like any architectural, like if an architect is like, hey, make me this exact measurements, blah, blah, blah. They can't do it with a software. That's too hard for them. They have to do the math, the planning and stuff. But like not necessarily like, everything just needs 3D modeling nowadays, whether it be for homes, for like building things or like animating stuff or just, it's a visual like creative field that maybe I should go into. AI hasn't touched that yet, so.
I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure AI will eventually take over everything.
I know. I'm still open-minded to what I should want to do in the creative world, so yeah.
But as a profession, so that's kind of what I was asking is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? That's a good question.
I don't know. Alive, hopefully. I'll be 33. I'll be like old
God, that's
and
so
sad.
old.
I know. It'll be so depressing.
Would you
I'm just
stop
kidding.
with that?
I'll be like Justin. No, thank you.
Why is Justin catching all the shrapnel? I'm sorry, Justin.
I'm just kidding. I'm literally kidding. No, I don't know. I'm just taking it day by day, just living in the moment type of thing. Yeah, just keeping a clear head and just, I did a couple days ago, I had like a work crisis. Like, I'm like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, blah, blah, blah. I was so like, annoyed with people, company stuff. Huh? No, I haven't.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, so you said you had a work crisis?
Or just, just the usual daily like
I'm over this crap. Friggin' Costco.
But I think it's like just this human thing to want to do better, elevate yourself somehow, or just keep moving, do something different.
Yeah.
Something that captures my interest, something I'm spending. You spend half your life at work. Yeah, it's just like, and I'm young, and I feel the pressure of needing not to waste my skills or talents or whatever.
Right.
But I'm so scatter-minded about what I want to do. Like I can't commit to something. I'm not feeling 100% passionate about this one thing. So it's like kind of hard.
At 23, it's okay to not have decided yet. You're young. Yeah. You're young enough that you don't have.
Everyone
to know.
says that, but I'm like, no. There's so many people that are already settled and have a course planned out for the rest of their life, which is it offers so much stability and like just like direction.
Yeah, but
which I kind of crave sometimes.
I think you know this. You are going to be a completely different person at 30 than you are now.
Yeah.
Your brain is not even done developing.
Thanks.
No, serious.
Yeah, well, for guys, it's 26.
The human brain,
like
the frontal
20.
lobe does not finish developing until you're in your late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to be a totally different person. So that's why I say it's okay that you don't necessarily know, because if you chose something now, when you hit 30, you might hate yourself for choosing that.
Yeah. So
it's okay.
I get it. So I'm just gonna finish this school year. I'm gonna start back up school in fall and focus on it. Digital media arts degree.
Okay.
It's Clark College. I didn't choose an art school.
Okay.
Yeah. I was looking at an art school that had basically the same thing except double the amount in like tuition. So I was like, I'm just gonna settle for something that just gets me a degree.
So
a piece of paper.
Do classes start up again in the fall?
Yeah.
And are you doing it in person or virtually?
Both. A blend of both.
It's a hybrid thing?
It's a hybrid thing nowadays. Nothing is fully in
person
anymore.
How many days a week do you have to be in class?
It depends on the class.
Okay.
So because
I guess how many credits or classes are you taking at once?
The full time, it's I think 20 credits. I'm gonna take about 15 just through classes.
And try to hold down a job?
Well, I'm doing part-time, and
still,
Costco does very well around school. Like, they go around your,
they
class schedule
support
very
that.
well. So it's not a problem for me,
Okay.
Minimal 4 days, 24 hours a week.
Well, then you've been there for more than 2 years, so you're bulletproof. You can't get fired except by a vice president. No, that's the best part about Costco. Once you pass that 2-year mark, even Wanda can't fire us.
Seriously?
You know
Amazing. I'm like, there's some people that, why didn't they get fired yet?
Stop.
I'm just
stop
kidding.
it.
I'm just kidding.
There's nobody at Arbor House like that. Once you pass 2 years at Costco, you can only be fired with the approval of a vice president or higher. Like the warehouse manager can recommend, but they can't fire you. It's one of the. It's a good thing about Costco.
You're saying
Again, it's almost like a union job where you have a lot of protection. That's actually really amazing.
Yeah. Well, Costco is so high profile and so like it's one of the top companies in like revenue and stuff out of grocers or anything.
Well, and just as a place to have a job, it's amazing. I tell this reference all the time to people that ask about it. I'm like, there are people serving you hot dogs on a Sunday that are making $45 an hour. If you're topped out at Costco and on Sunday you get time and a half. People are literally making $45 an hour to serve you a gosh damn $1.50 hot dog.
Yeah.
That's how good of a company it is.
Yeah. And also in perspective of how much people are earning for jobs nowadays. Like I was looking at jobs just because to see what's out there,
right.
I was more focusing on like what creative jobs are out there and how much salary they offer. And I just come across jobs that are like 16 hours in office, like 40, hours a week. They work their butts off, like an office job.
Right.
For, a fraction of what I make. So it's like,
and I guarantee the benefits aren't as good.
And it's negotiable salary, negotiable benefits. Like they might offer some dental, but I'm like, we have the full package, it's, see, perspective.
Because you have these awesome new glasses you got through the Costco benefits.
Seriously. And I paid like $100 out of pocket for an appointment and for 2 glasses, and they're really cool. So,
yeah,
just all these benefits. Like you said, see, talking about it set my perspective like into gratefulness again, like gratitude.
Yeah.
So it's good, taking it. So I think it's normal to want better, but at the same time, you have to see where you are right now and like compare it to you and compare like what it could have been, like worse. Just
you want to be appreciative of what you have, but also
because that's where you're like. A lot of people struggle with like unhappiness on a daily basis, like just unhappy, like just depression.
And do you think that comes from an inability to be happy or appreciate what they have? So again, it's a balance. You definitely want to always strive for
better
something more,
stuff.
but also don't
bettering yourself.
Don't disregard what you have, because if you can be happy,
and I think social media kind of wrecked that for us too. Everyone's traveling, living their best life. You only post your best moments,
Yes, all
and
you see on social media
even my camera roll is filled with like highlights of what I did this
they
summer.
only post the good shit,
Yeah.
or sometimes they post the bad shit, which is stupid. But
10%
if everybody is posting,
of my life is like,
it makes them think that 24/7 they're having these amazing experiences because they don't share the bad stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, especially like people your age or something, they'll never show the bad stuff unless they're like a real person and they want to share their like crying moments and stuff. But then people criticize them. Why are you crying on the internet? Get out of here, type of thing. So, but they're trying to just level the field out, being like, not everything's perfect. I have all this career, but I'm not like necessarily happy 24/7. You can't, expect that from us. So it's like really, it's cool that some people are trying to be real on the web and like on social media, but a lot of people like, oh, I'm 23, travel the world, have this. And you're just like, damn, and I'm here doing this. So it's like, but how long did it took them to get there? Are they happy on a daily basis? Is that how their everyday life looks like? Probably not. So,
and I do try to keep a balance on that because I try to obviously I'm active on Facebook. I have Instagram only because my daughter she's your generation younger is more active on Instagram, so I have it, but. I try to just only post positive stuff on Facebook. I use it to stay connected to friends and family, happy moments. There is a balance because you're right. I don't want to put a sob story up.
Yeah.
Because also, number one, I don't want to put negative energy out there, but I also don't want to burden people with my friggin' problems. But sometimes it's healthy. There is an argument to be made that sometimes if you can be a little bit vulnerable, it might help somebody that saw this moment and can you can be relatable. It's like
some people want to make others jealous and stuff. That's their whole point of only posting great.
I mean, that's
highlights and stuff.
TikTok and Reels, yeah.
But it's like, jealous of what? Like, so other people are gonna be miserable? No, like that's negative focus, negative energy, And even if you're putting up the best content, it's still gonna be negative vibe because you're trying to be like,
you're trying to
I'm better
one-up
than
somebody.
you, or one up someone. Just like it's showing off like cool stuff, or like, look, new Rolex. I'm like, I don't care about your Rolex, whatever. It's probably probably took out a bank loan for that, whatever. So I unfollow those people nowadays. I'm just like, God. I'm so done with it. Just and there are people I know too. I was like, why do I follow you? Ew. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is funny. I thought about this as I was waiting for you. Have you actually listened to any of my podcasts?
I have. Yeah.
On Spotify or YouTube?
Your daughter's podcast, not your podcast.
Oh, that's right.
This
so you
one?
haven't listened to mine.
What's yours? Is it this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I listened to some interviews. Yeah.
This is my podcast.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. It's not all about you.
No, isn't it?
Dude, sorry.
No, for our loved ones. So the joke was, I don't know if you've seen it on Spotify, because on YouTube it's the video obviously, but on Spotify it's just audio only. But I had to create the account, I had to choose an image. So I chose an image so whenever you click on Spotify to listen to my podcast, you'll see the picture. So I had an inspiration. Since you were going to be on this, I was like, I almost want to, when I post yours on Spotify, I almost want to make it more personal to you. So you have to send me that selfie you took in the locker room.
Oh, no.
I want to use that.
Oh, no. Have you done it with anyone else?
No.
That's not fair if I have my selfie on there.
But that selfie is so awesome.
Jeez. That was such an awkward selfie.
I'm just saying this to mess with you.
That
was a great photo, by the way.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. How about you? I have like a picture of my art or something I drew or something.
That could be cool. And I actually would do that if you want. If it's something you want to share with me, I can.
I can make you a cover art for your podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you really?
If something you want.
So.
Just send me an idea of like what you're looking for.
So this is what, since you haven't seen it, let me pull it up on Spotify. If you go to my podcast called For Our Loved Ones. So here, where are we at? That's it. Are you on Spotify?
Yeah, I'm going to
Oh, then just type in For Our Loved Ones and you'll see it. And I used, you've probably heard of Pic Collage. So I just used that. So I took a photo I had, and then I used Pic Collage to just put some text over it with the name of my podcast.
Yeah, it's cute. It's like your family.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So that's me, my daughter, and Pam.
Yvonne is there. For love.
And that photo actually was the reason I use that photo is that was literally the day my mom passed June 12th of 2022 last year, June 12th. June 12th was a Sunday. She she had been in the hospital for 2 weeks, but she actually finally passed. Not finally, but she passed
I mean, like,
at like 1 a.m. on June 12th. And I was at home asleep, got the call. So that was later that Sunday night. We went down to deal with stuff and ended up just taking a day. I took the day off from work, obviously.
Yeah.
That photo was taken that Sunday night with me and Pam and Kristen. We kind of just needed, obviously, to exhale.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was why I used that photo, because it had so much meaning for me.
For sure.
Sorry, I'm...
Aw, that's okay. I'm sorry. Were you very close with her?
Yeah, that... her passing changed a lot of stuff for me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ken. I'm sorry. That's... Man.
Anyway,
I can't imagine
I've done this before.
not having my mom. Like, it's
insane. In a good way, though. She... it definitely put me more in touch with my feelings. Like, I cry at the drop of a dime now, like a song, or, you know, I've had family and friends. We've taught
meant to be emotional. Crazy.
Yes. It put me in touch with my emotions, which is so gosh damn annoying. I don't want to be. I want to go. Can I go back to being closed off?
No, I think if you're always let your emotions kind of like processing them, you don't let them take control of you, right? But you process them. You kind of embrace some, you let go of others that are negative, and you keep some because they're important, right? Connect to important memories. It's important to process them and let them, like, live it out, and you'll get over it. Like, it passes, right?
No, it's
and grieving is letting that sorrowful emotion, like, go. Like, you're supposed to feel that.
Yeah, and you have to go through it.
Yeah, it's
been
something
a great
it's a healing thing.
It's been really amazing. But yeah, anyway, going back to it, yes, if you could come up with something, now that you kind of know the impetus of the podcast and what the reason for it is, sure, if you want to create something, I would be happy to use it.
Yeah. Well, you have to give me ideas and stuff, so.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, you kind of know, again, the For Our Loved Ones thing, the whole point of the podcast is to just talk to people, to hear their origin story, find out about where they came from and how they grew up, and the people that in their lives that were important to them, whether it was a family member or a friend, and just to hear their perspective. And the point is to capture it in a digital form that can be passed on to generations after. Like, you're probably going to have kids eventually. What? Can you imagine when you're, in your late 40s and you have kids that are teenagers? They can literally listen to this and they can see you visually. They can hear you telling your story. Isn't that an amazing gift to give?
Yeah,
that you could give
it's
this
very
to
different.
your kids.
Like, we never had that, like,
right?
We can't. I mean, yeah. If your mom ran around with like a camera, like
but I mean, so now, I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't doing this before my mom passed. I would have loved to have sat down with her, but before this technology existed, it was either written form, or you would just have to hear anecdotes. You'd have to hear friends and family members that knew that person tell you stories about them.
Yeah, which is still beautiful on its own. It is,
but I want to hear the person talk about themselves.
No wonder you want my mom to go on here and kind of like record her thoughts and stuff.
I so want your mom.
She's really private though, for a reason.
I know.
It's kind of like a closed off, like no one cares about me.
Well, that's why I almost thought it would be maybe easier for her if you guys both did it together.
Yeah. But like, it's out for her. It's like it's out there on the internet for everyone to see. She's like, no way, I'm gonna talk about myself. I'm not that important.
Well, tell her this. I would be happy to record an episode with you two and just keep it. I will never publish it, but I can give you a copy of it. If she wants to do that, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll pitch that idea.
I just like talking to people that I think are interesting and that I care about, and I would love to hear her story.
Yeah.
And if she just wants to record it for her, I will never publish it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think she'll like that better.
Okay.
If anything, well, I'll let her know and stuff.
So picture that, and then 6 months or a year after, if she actually wants it to be published, of course we can.
Yeah.
But I
she
would
just like she's been through so much though,
and I almost want her to feel free and comfortable to talk about everything, and it might make it easier if she knows it's not going to be public. Maybe she would open up more.
Yeah, to just record.
But
stuff.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but she's amazing, and backbone. She's a solid lady. She's still here. It's amazing.
Tatiana friggin' rocks.
Yeah.
And I said friggin', not the other word. So.
Yeah. Well, we're also Christian and we believe in God and stuff, and he's like believing in like promises that are that he holds like for us. It's like been really like something you can hold on to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and she's still here because of that, and super grateful. So to God for that.
All right, you have an assignment.
But what is it?
Yeah, you have to get your mom to record this.
Oh, that's gonna be so hard, but I'll let her know.
Yes.
I have to respect her decisions.
Absolutely,
I'll convince
should.
her.
And again, just let her know we can keep it private, and I will just give you a copy if she wants to keep it. So.
Yeah. I also didn't say I'm starting a floral business. I think we said that in the other podcast.
We did talk about it. You were doing because you had a wedding coming up.
And I was like complaining about how hard it is, but honestly, so is everything.
We both
else.
went off on a tangent because I was a DJ. We went off on a tangent talking about how brides and grooms.
I think it's normal to you have to kind of expect that from people. Like that's just humans, honestly. Come on, like no one's like. You're going to encounter some terrible people. You're going to encounter very awesome people.
If you're just a bride and groom and you have no experience in the industry, like you've never had to work a wedding, people don't understand.
It's not malice, it's incompetence, but not their fault. It's not like malicious incompetence
it's
either.
ignorance, not on a negative term. Yeah. It's just they don't know. They don't know how much work you put into it.
Yeah, and you can't expect, like you can't look at that from a malicious point of view, like, oh, they're doing that because they're trying out here to get. Some people are malicious, specifically.
Right, but not everybody.
Yeah, and some people weaponize their incompetence and be like, well, since I can't do it, you have to do this for me or stuff, Yeah. But there's just people that just don't know what to expect. They're trying their best, and you can't be mad at them for it because they don't know. Like, they're just learning, so. And they're here paying you to do that, so.
Do you have any other weddings this year?
I did a wedding, and I'm doing another wedding, and I think I'm just going to open my business and go for it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I have like a little profile going already, and I'm going to open an Instagram page, so I actually think I can make some good buck on it, so. Nice. I have a friend, florist, that I'm going to help her out with her weddings and stuff. She's going to give me some of her work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's just something that's been in the works for a couple months.
Where do you source the flowers from?
It's called Portland Florist Market. It's like a big depot works with Oregon,
it's
Washington,
almost like a wholesale place?
Yeah, it is wholesale.
Okay.
And you can only access it if you have a business license, florist business license, like one of the 3 that they work with. So it's kind of expensive to start it, but once you get going, you make the money, it gets rolling. So maybe I should do that. So maybe this year or after school, after I'm done with my degree, just have a paper, finish it. So
that is super cool.
I think I totally missed that part, but I think people are making good buck off of it. So you said keep Costco as a job, but do like a side hustle.
Just for a security blanket. That's what
and
it
do
is.
Something you love. And
yes.
Doing flowers is something that I'm finding out I'm really good at. And just that's another creative outlet. Like I said, if not digital stuff, that makes me upset. Flowers can't make you upset. And they make people happy.
Yes.
Every wedding I've done so far. Joy. Yeah, every wedding I've done, the brides are super impressed and they love it. I've had one that's just really picky, just because she's just picky. But and I'm like, you can't find this flower in the dead of winter. It's just not gonna happen, or dead of October. They don't grow this time of year. You want to pay $15 for one? Sure, we'll get it from Germany or wherever. It's weird, people that, I don't know, just common sense things. But it's, things like that.
The bride wants the world, and it will be delivered on a silver platter.
For $5, she's not gonna pay you anything
for $2.50.
Yeah, for the shipping, she's not gonna pay you for the work, whatever. So, yeah, you have to. I think just gentle negotiation, just firm, and you have a bottom line, and you won't I won't do anything otherwise. Find another person, if anything.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to gain or lose. I have stuff to lose. I have my time I can lose. I can lose my patience, but I'm gonna get my money that I said. I promise. We agreed on this. I'm not gonna go back on it. So just being firm in things that you expect from them, and then you're gonna deliver. Like, I know I can deliver what they expect if it's reasonable, right? So it's just knowing that. Now, after doing like 6-8 weddings, I've kind of figured that out. I think I'm just gonna go for it. So yeah,
that's awesome.
A couple years time, 10 years maybe, I'll update you when I'm 33, rich as heck off my own business.
We're definitely gonna schedule that podcast.
All right.
When you're 33, I want to hear where you're at.
Yeah. Well, that's something I can see myself doing actually, like, pretty strongly. So we'll see.
But you do. We talked about it last time. You eventually want to have a family, right?
I don't know. Sure.
You're not sure?
Well, it's something that I'm not going to, like, at all costs. I'm not trying to get a family at all costs. It's something that's, like, a natural course of action if you have a person you love and respect, right? And want to do life together. Natural course of action is, why not start a family? We're great. Like, we're going to do great. So, there's just a lot of people I know that I'm like, I'm going to have a family. I don't care who with. It's just like, that's not it. You know, what if I never find my person? Like, I'm okay with that too.
I think that's actually a really healthy attitude. My daughter's the same way. She's not against having kids, but there's no, like, burning
it's not a focus.
Need.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like a human need to kind of, like, want to have a family. That's fine, right? But if it just doesn't happen,
back when the human race was on the verge of extinction, sure, there was a need. There was a need to procreate.
Yeah,
but we're doing fine. I think we've kind of overtaken the earth. So if you don't want to have kids, you don't have to. We're fine.
And if you don't think you're a healthy enough relationship, please don't bring any kids into it. There's so many orphans. There's so many people struggling with CPS. There's a bunch of kids being confiscated.
There are so many kids that need a home.
Struggling. Like, I'm all for adoption too, if anything. Yeah. If I'm doing healthy enough and I don't want to have my own kids, dude, there's so many other options. Like, they're not going to be easy. None of them are. None of the options are easy if you want to have a family.
I'll plug my own podcast. If you when you have a chance, listen to the one I did with Matthew and Anna.
Mm-hmm. I think I've listened to their podcast actually.
Did you?
Part 1, yeah.
Did you hear her origin story about how Anna got adopted? Oh my God, that was heart-wrenching.
I never even knew, like, until
I didn't
that
either.
podcast.
That was amazing.
And I was like,
But that's a great example of the adoption thing. It's like there's plenty of kids that need.
And you change their lives and stuff.
Yes.
Like, why? It's a human. Doesn't matter, like, where they come from. It's a So.
All right, I have to go potty, so
okay.
We're like an hour and a half in. We can wrap up. One second. I'm gonna see what the time is.
Okay. Ooh, you better cut that.
So I will say thank you again for being on the podcast.
Thank you. This was
awesome.
So much better than the first one.
The first one was amazing. They're both amazing.
Hot mess, the first one. This one is kind of a mess, but a little bit
You're never a mess.
Out.
Knock it off. Thank you, Elena.
Thank you.